Claude Code Tips You Should Know Part 8. If Claude is ignoring your Claude.md, watch this. You know this guy from Memento who has no long term memory? So every day he wakes up and has no idea what happened yesterday. And his solution is to tattoo the important stuff on his body. So he sees it the moment he wakes up. Imagine he's Claude Code because just like him, every time you start a new session, Claude Code starts completely fresh, doesn't remember your last conversation, doesn't know your project preferences, nothing. And you can imagine Claude.md being the tattoos on this guy. It's a markdown file that gets automatically loaded into Claude's context memory the moment you start a session. So all your project rules, your preferences, your tech stack, Claude sees it before you even say anything. But here's what most people don't know. When you start a new session in Claude Code, it gets a system prompt and your Claude.md. But it also gets a system reminder that basically says this context may or may not be relevant. Only use it if it's actually relevant to the task. So Claude is actively ignoring some parts of it. So if you're working on front-end code, your database schema might get ignored, but this also means that you're actively telling Claude to skip some information, which means the more stuff you cram in there that isn't universally relevant, the more likely Claude will just ignore all of it. Claude is literally deciding at times that your Claude.md isn't worth paying attention to. So how much can you put in there? Well, research shows that models reliably follow about 150 to 200 instructions. And as you add more, the quality of how it follows all of them degrades. Claude Code system prompt already uses about 50 instructions. That leaves you roughly 100 to 150 instructions for your Claude.md. A bloated file easily blows this budget. And when you blow that budget, your entire session takes a hit. Claude will stop following instructions reliably. Pretty much your entire conversation with Claude will be affected by this. Anthropic mentioned that their team keeps their Claude.md to around 2500 tokens. So that should be the target. And if you have more instructions than that, use Claude.md files inside folders. Put Claude.md in your front-end folder, another one in your back-end folder. They only load when Claude is working on files in that directory. So your front-end rules don't bloat the context when you're working on back-end code. So the fix is simple. Keep your Claude.md short and make sure everything in there applies to every task. If it's not universally relevant, it's hurting your context. A short Claude.md that Claude actually follows beats a long one that gets ignored. Save this for later and follow for more.